fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Autobot Jackpot with sights from the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy Golden Disc Collection from Hasbro. Now this was an Amazon exclusive. There are going to be 4 entries into the Golden Disc Collection, as you may have guessed from having 1/4 of the Golden Disc here on the packaging. When we have all 4 boxes together, you'll be able to form the full Golden Disc, which is kind of fun. You can see some of the Golden Disc extending here onto the top and also onto the side of the packaging, which is kind of neat. Otherwise, packaging's pretty standard. There's not really too much going on this side or the bottom. And then on the back, you have that kind of standard Kingdom packaging where you have the kind of cave painting motif going on here with a look at the robot mode, vehicle mode, and then we have Sights as a little partner over here on the side. So pretty typical packaging for Kingdom on the back. But yeah, I think this is pretty fun. I think having 1/4 of the Golden Disc is kind of neat. It's giving me an incentive to want to keep the packaging, at least until I have the other 3 all together, so I can at least take a picture of it. But otherwise, it's pretty small, a little bit smaller than I would have expected, but we do have the figure inside, and of course we have no plastic packaging here as they're working to reduce that, so it's just the figure tied onto a piece of cardboard, so like we're seeing a lot with the modern packaging here. So I'm going to go ahead and get them out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the 2 characters out of the packaging. Just to give a quick background on Jackpot, in case you're not super familiar with the character, he was one of the Action Masters back in the original toy line, and basically what that was a line of non-transforming Transformer action figures, which is a weird thing to say, but it was kind of a fun line, and they were just kind of small, maybe 4-inch figures that had a few points of articulation, but they all came with like a fun transforming accessory. Now for some of them, it was like a backpack or something that gave them some kind of flight capabilities. Some of them it was like a little robot or animal partner, but the fun thing about them was they're all transformable, and they all had the ability to kind of transform into like larger cannons or weapon artillery for the Action Master robot. But again, the Action Masters did not transform, so Jackpot did not have an alt mode back in the day. But based on the design of the robot mode, you could see car parts and things incorporated into the robot mode, so it was very obvious that he was some kind of automobile. And so they've decided to go ahead and use the mold for Studio Series 86 Jazz to make it into Jackpot, which I think looks pretty good. I think the color scheme's been nailed. I think it really does look like Jackpot, the Action Master from back in the day. And so we have Sights here, who the original toy was kind of more of like a large bird or an eagle or something, but because they had this Battle Master for the pterodactyl, I guess they just assumed it was good enough. And I mean, it's pretty close. The color scheme's there. They've done it in the same colors and everything. And the original toy had the ability to kind of merge with the gun that was included to make a larger cannon. He does not have that capability, unfortunately. You can transform him into the axe, just like the original release could do. So you can form the axe here, which is not necessarily something that Jackpot had, but, you know, they're trying to include the transformable partner, and this was kind of the best they could do without creating a brand new mold. And of course, I understand that they're not going to do that. So, and you honestly, you could have him hold it like this, and this is pretty close to what Sights did transform into back in the Action Master line. Now, this gun had the capability to kind of peg into the end here, and I really wish that they had done something like that. But as you'll see in a minute, this is really just the same gun that came with Jazz painted blue, and there's just no way to connect this here. It would have been neat if there was some way they could have done it, but it would have required a lot of extensive remolding, and so it wasn't possible. But you could still just have Jackpot hold on to this peg back here, and that way it kind of resembles what the original like partner gun cannon thing that it transformed into back in the day. So I think that's kind of cool. I do at least appreciate that. And of course you can use it as the axe accessory as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just put Sights off to the side for now, and put the gun off to the side, and we'll take a look at the robot mode here. So, like I said, it is Studio Series 86 Jazz, and I think it looks pretty great. I think they did a really nice job. There is a little bit of mistransformation in the box, just because, you know, it's easier to package it that way. You have to flip the toes out. You have, I think these are up, and you have to flip them down. And these pieces back here, the doors, are flipped out. So you kind of have to tuck them back in and then push this back down. So just a few things to do to get it into the full robot mode, but I think it looks good. Autobot symbol there on the front looks good. All the yellow paint, the yellow and black color scheme looks good. You have a little bit of orange to break it up, which really pops. A little bit of red here in the abdomen. The head sculpt is good. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the two pieces of the head are misaligned. You can kind of see how this side pops up a little bit higher than that side. And I've seen a lot of people complain about this online. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if there's a way you can unscrew it and kind of realign it and put it back together. I don't think so. So unfortunately, you just kind of have to live with it being just a little bit off. And honestly, the head just kind of seems small to me in general. I think it's because the Action Master line kind of had some accentuated features, so the heads just seemed larger than usual because it was just kind of the design of the line. And that might be why the head seems a little small to me. Now, it needs to be this size so that it can fit, you know, in the channel for transformation, so I understand. But I do wish the head was a little bit larger. But otherwise, I think it looks good. The visor looks nice. Silver paint on the head and face look good. Like I said, the Autobot symbol there on the chest really does look sharp. All this silver paint looks really nice. And just to do a quick comparison, we'll bring Jazz in real fast. You can see that it's pretty much the exact same mold, just with a different head. You can also see how all the molding down here is the same. This was just all painted silver, whereas they decided to just paint these pieces orange, which is nice because it really does kind of make it look different, even though it is the same molding. You can see that the crotch area is pretty much the same. It's just this is painted blue, this was not. So there's really not much different aside from the head sculpt. But honestly, I don't mind. I think it looks really good. And I just wanted to do that comparison real quick. Articulation is going to be the same as Jazz. You have the head on a ball joint, so you can look up, look down, tilt side to side, an actual pretty much decent amount, I would say. You can swivel side to side. You have a hinge and swivel. Oh, I did that backwards. That's the hinge. That's the swivel. Now you have a little bit of movement here where it actually connects to the torso, but that's really for the transformation. Bicep swivel, 90 degrees in the elbow. You do not have a swivel in the wrist because of the way it transforms. Waist swivel, you can kick forward, kick back. It kind of naturally hits up there. You can see that the top of the thigh kind of hits into that. But you can kick out to the side a good bit. You have a thigh swivel, 90 degrees in the knee. You have some ankle tilt, which is nice. So all in all, I think it really does look good. It's a pretty excellent repaint, and Jazz was already a great mold to begin with, so definitely do not mind having a second version. I think, like I said, they've done it justice. Really nice paint applications. I like the orange tinted windows. I think that looks good. So let's go ahead, we'll move into the transformation. Alright, so if you've transformed Jazz before, it's pretty much the exact same transformation. You're going to start by folding the fists into the forearms, come down to the legs, fold down the feet. You're going to straighten out the legs if you have them tilted at all, and flip this up. These side pieces here. Then you're going to collapse these down, and they will kind of collapse in on themselves. Unhooking that and then accordioning that out. These will then peg into each other like so. You're going to come to the backpack section. You're going to flip these panels out. This panel will flip out from the inside and click into place there. Then you're going to unpeg the chest. You can see that there were two pegs right here, which pegged into this section here. You're going to bring this up a little bit, and you kind of have to make sure that the head stays between these two yellow pieces here on the side, so that you can push this piece in so there's clearance, and then push this all the way down, and this is on a piece that will swivel around. You kind of have to give it a little bit to make sure that it clears. Then that will spin around. And then this piece underneath will flip back up to fill that space there like that. Then you're going to come to the arms. You're going to rotate this in, and you're going to rotate this 90 degrees. Oh, I'm sorry. Before you do that, this red torso section, you have to spin around 180 degrees. I always forget that part. That has to hide back there. So that way there's room to bring the arms in. And basically you want this tab on the forearm to face to the outside. So as you bring this in, you can spin this 90 degrees, and then that will just kind of rest there like so. Then you're going to bring this section down, and this will tab in back here. Hold on. There we go. That will peg in there so that this can come down and fit into this space. And there's just a couple of clearance issues, but once you get that all in, this will peg in here. There's a small tab spot right there, which will peg into those tabs that we put on the outside of the forearms. Make sure that's all the way down. There we go. And then just kind of make sure everything clears and snaps into place and everything. And there you go. There is your transformed Jackpot. Now at this point, if you would like, you can go ahead and peg either of the guns. You could put sights there, or you could put the normal gun peg into that little spot on the top. But I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it's very obviously Jazz's alt mode. But it looks good. Rolls well. Just to do a quick comparison with Jazz, you can see that they look very similar. But they both look pretty cool. I'm very happy with this. Honestly, I think he looks good. I think this was a smart choice for a mold to use for Jackpot. Transformation's fun, pretty simple. Holds together well. I don't really have too many problems. Yes, you can see, you know, the legs, the arms, the head underneath, but it doesn't really bother me. I think all in all, it's a really good looking alt mode. So I think this is a fantastic release, and real quick, I did forget to mention that this effect piece is included. It's the same one that this Siege Battlemaster came with back in the day. It attaches to either part of the axe there, so yes, that is included. But as I was saying, this is a fantastic release. I really liked Jackpot as a kid. He was one of the few Action Masters that I actually had, so I knew who he was right away when I saw this repaint. And it's just really fun to see him, you know, get a new figure all these years later. Plus, it's a fantastic mold. Studio Series 86 Jazz was just great. The robot mode's great. The vehicle mode's great. The paint applications they've done here with the color scheme, it's all really sharp. The only thing I have to complain about is that head with the two halves being misaligned ever so slightly. It's a little off. I mean, if you're just looking at it right now, it's not that jarring. But when you get in and really look at it close, you can tell that the one side is a little bit off from the other, which is a bit of a bummer. I also kind of feel like the head should be a little bigger, but I completely understand it needs to be this size for the transformation, so I get that. But either way, I still think this is a really fun release. I definitely recommend checking it out. Like I said, it is an Amazon exclusive. It's kind of been going in and out of stock, so I definitely just go check on there if you're looking for him, and hopefully he should pop in stock and you can grab him if you want. I really think this is a lot of fun. I don't really, other than the head, I don't really have too much to complain about. It's really a pretty excellent release. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.